My proposal is aimed at improving the pedestrian and bicyclist safety at the traffic light at the intersection of Route 1 and Fraternity Row in front of the Ritchie Coliseum. I've circled this intersection in blue on the map shown. This specific crosswalk is the primary way to travel from on campus to the Ritchie Coliseum. Personally, I've had to commute to both North and South Campus from the Ritchie Coliseum, Frat Row, and Leonardtown area consistently for 2 years now, and this was the major crosswalk I had to use the majority of the time. I highlight the most optimal path I and many others use to get to North and South Campus from the crosswalk in red on the map shown. However, over the past 2 years, I've noticed the majority of the time I crossed this crosswalk, as well as fellow pedestrians, we did so without abiding to the traffic laws, also known as jaywalking. Now, why was this done? This was because despite Route 1 being an extremely busy and bustling road, there would be clear openings where cars further up and further down Route 1 were obstructed by red lights, yet the cross signal was still red. So today, I set out to observe this light in greater detail and find a way to operate it more efficiently, so pedestrians didn't feel the need to jaywalk, thus reducing the likelihood and potential of serious injury or accident occurring. I took several videos, 2 of which I'll display now, to show something that I've experienced myself many times. As you can see, there is no car traffic over the crosswalk, and the light up Route 1 is red, yet the light controlling the crosswalk is green, thus making it unsafe to cross the road. These 2 videos are just 2 examples of this occurrence, but from my observation as well as experiences, it never deviates from this pattern. However, after taking these videos, I realized that the crosswalk never actually turned white, except until around 1.5 minutes after the crosswalk button was pressed. As such, I stumbled upon a larger problem that many across the US have also stumbled upon, and this is the existence of crosswalk buttons, and whether they actually do anything or not. So from a cursory Google of, do crosswalk buttons actually do anything, you'd see that the answer to this question is no, and that they are primarily used as an auditory or tactile aid for the visually impaired to know whether to cross or not. And as I sat outside this crosswalk for 30 minutes, all 10 students I saw cross this intersection, with the exception of 1, jaywalked and didn't even bother to press this button. And why would they? There's clearly a period of time where it's safe to cross the road, and at least before I did some research, I thought buttons really didn't do anything. However, as I came to find out, this traffic light was operated by a beg button. A beg button is a button at a crosswalk you push to change the light after some time to give you the right of way to walk across the street. There are several reasons why this type of technology is outdated and unfair to pedestrians. The primary issue with this specific beg button across from Ritchie is that many students or pedestrians, including myself, don't even realize that they need to push them. They then cross against the light, putting themselves in danger. Additionally, the button on the UMD side of the street of this crosswalk has construction around it, making it even less obvious for pedestrians to realize this button actually has significance. The construction of Route 1 currently has a 3-year timetable and it began a year ago, so this isn't just a very temporary type of development. Additionally, it increases the average wait time for pedestrians to cross the road. A green light phase for cars may display a red hand for pedestrians unless you push a button. If you push the button in the middle of a green phase for cars, you usually have to wait another full cycle before getting a walk signal. Finally, it is hazardous to force pedestrians to touch a surface that many others have touched. This is an issue that has exceptional relevance nowadays when COVID-19 is a significant threat to many. Beg buttons are just lazy solutions that penalize pedestrians where decent engineering could clearly yield a much more effective outcome for pedestrians at only a very slight detriment to the drivers. As you saw in the videos I took earlier, there's clearly a window where it's safe to cross for pedestrians, and in order to uphold the minimum length of crossing time, the opposing traffic may only have to wait up to 10 seconds maximum. As such, in order to improve pedestrian safety, especially on a heavily traveled location right next to campus, this beg button should be illuminated and an automated traffic signal that fits in pedestrian crossing should take its place. To do this, all it would take is to include this signal in a system of automated signals, instead of having it operate only based on the beg button. The audience for this specific proposal will be the Bicycle and Pedestrian Subcommittee of the Metropolitan Washington Council of Government, This subcommittee is responsible for the update and evaluation of the Regional Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan, as well as overseeing the Street Smart Pedestrian and Bicycle Safety Campaign. More importantly, though, they facilitate information sharing between state and local programs. As such, they are a good intermediary to bring the proposal to fruition. A secondary audience would be the Signal and Operations section of the Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration. They are the overarching administration in charge of maintaining, modifying, and monitoring signals statewide. They are the final arbiters in terms of implementing this type of proposal. However, the Bicycle and Pedestrian Subcommittee of the Metropolitan Washington Council of Government is the most viable way to have this proposal enacted by the M.SHA.